What's up, guys? On this week's show, Avengers Infinity War drops a new trailer, Ava Duvernay is directing a new Gods movie, and video games make you crazy? All that and more on this episode of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks.
Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and with me is my co-host, DJ Melville. How you doing, DJ?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Had a pretty nice dinner before we started.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, kind of full, so sorry.
Yeah,
sorry
right.
if I'm like adjusting in my seat and get my gut all ugh.
Yeah.
But
you might as well be comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a whole lot happened this week, huh?
No. Unfortunately, we lost Stephen Hawking. That was kind of a bummer.
Yeah. That was actually kind of shocking, actually. I mean, he was, older, but
his health was relatively well considering.
Right. His condition, yeah.
Did we ever find out?
No. Well, okay. I was gonna put that one on the back burner, but we can start with that. Here, let's see. The family released a statement. Here, let's see. Okay. I'm getting this from the BBC. It says world-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking has died at the age of 76. He died peacefully at his home in Cambridge in the early hours of Wednesday, his family said. The British scientist was famed for his work with black holes and relativity and wrote several popular science books, including A Brief History in Time. At the age of 22, Professor Hawking was given a few years to live after being diagnosed with a rare form of motor neuron disease. The illness left him in a wheelchair and largely unable to speak except through a voice synthesizer. In a statement, his children, Lucy, Robert, and Tim, said, "We are deeply saddened that our beloved father has passed away today. He was a great scientist and an extraordinary man whose work and legacy will live on for many years." They praised his courage and persistence and said his brilliance and humor inspired people across the world. He once said, "It would not be much of a universe if it wasn't home to the people you love. We will miss him forever." And, yeah, that's, Yeah, the statement that his family released about his passing. Yeah, they said that he died at home peacefully. So, luckily, he didn't go through prolonged, time of suffering.
Right, sure. We didn't,
stuff like that.
I don't know much about his neurological condition. So
Right. It's
it might have been painful. It might.
Sure. He's like it said, he's been diagnosed with this since he was 22 and died at 76. So,
well, at least he had a long life,
True, yeah, no, he was. I do believe he was told when he was diagnosed that he only had 2 years to live, and he lived decades
50
longer.
Out of
right.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because he's lived with that disease longer than he lived without it.
Sure,
so. But I'm also getting this from the BBC. They said in 2014, the film The Theory of Everything was released, based on Jane Hawking's account of their courtship and marriage. Hawking himself met Eddie Redmayne as part of the actor's preparation for taking on the role of the scientist. In a series for the Discovery Channel, he said it was perfectly rational to assume there was intelligent life elsewhere, but warned that aliens might just raid Earth of its resources and then move on. Hawking also predicted, I know, right? I was like, that's bleak as fuck. Hawking also predicted the end of humanity from global warming, a large comet, or a new virus. He collaborated with Russian investor Yuri Milner in 2015 to work on projects to find evidence of alien life.
Okay.
He once wrote that he had motor neuron disease for practically all his adult life, but said that it had not stopped him from having an attractive family and being successful in his work. It shows, he said, that one need not lose hope. Then I got a quote here that he said, because I was just looking at just different things, interviews that he's had and just quotes that he's said over the years, and I found one that I thought was really profound. And I was like, this is really cool. He says, look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. I was like, wow, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
There was one that was the night that he passed. Mm-hmm. Later in the evening. I was on my way home from work, and the guy on the radio had mentioned something about it, and now, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but I know that if I heard it again.
Sure.
So I'm sure that's my goal this week in between working. I'm going to look and see if I can look up that particular radio show and see what was said.
Right.
Because I think it's something that it was really, speaks to me personally. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he
was full of great quotes.
For how bleak of a future he had laid out before him, he really took it in stride and never lost his sense of humor and, never let... And I'm sure, and I haven't seen the movie The Theory of Everything, but from what I know from it, I mean, they show some of, his most down times and stuff like that. So,
I remember when it came out, I wanted to see it,
mm-hmm.
and then...
Yeah, never got around to it, but no, definitely wanted to.
2014... Yeah, that's when we...
Mm-hmm.
Is that when they said the movie come out?
Yeah. It
kind of broke that year, so... Didn't have a lot of extra movie money that year.
Broke that year, yeah, every year. Wow. Shit, shit, I'm still broke this year. But no, he was, I guess you could say, a good sport.
Yeah.
About his whole situation, because one of the things the first thing that I thought when I heard that he died was, Family Guy has lost a lot of material because Stephen Hawking was in a lot of Family Guy skits.
Really?
Yeah, they made fun of Stephen Hawking quite a bit, but it was never in a distasteful way. It's kind of like in that, Seth MacFarlane or a Family Guy way, but no, he lent his voice to, the show, so he was in on the joke. He,
right.
was totally fine.
He was laughing with them, not...
Right.
It wasn't like they were laughing at him.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that Big Bang will make a...
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he's been on that, too.
Well, because he died on Thursday.
Mm.
And Thursdays is when the new Big Bang plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this week's episode was already out. Or it was
Sure, right, before they could do anything.
Yeah.
Some kind of
I think that they're going to do something.
Oh, no, it wouldn't
this
surprise
week.
me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Not at all.
I did think it was cool, though, that he, just reading up, about his, life and just, some of the accomplishments and things that he done, I found this one little tidbit of information that I thought was interesting, that he was offered to be knighted. And he actually turned it down because he had issues with the way the British government was funding science.
Okay.
He felt that they weren't giving, science enough money for, whatever. And he refused to be knighted. So he could have been Sir, Stephen Hawking, but he was like, nah, fuck that, son. He was like, you can't look out for my peoples and shit,
right.
So I don't want no parts of this.
It's noble, and mm-hmm. I appreciate that. We have too few people that look at science and say, hey, we're going to just pour money into this just because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We really don't have a space program anymore.
God, no.
Because...
No one's looking at the future anymore.
Nope.
And it's sad. Shit, besides people like Elon Musk or some shit. But.
Yeah, you got the personal investors, but
right.
NASA as a whole really isn't what it even
government
close
bodies
to be, used to be.
Yeah, they definitely aren't, behind it the way they should be. But alas, hopefully we'll get some shit figured out and, do what we gotta do.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's tragic, and, he definitely will be missed. Science as a whole has definitely lost, one of its, greatest minds, for sure.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, no, moving on, it's funny, it was a joke in the beginning. When I said not a whole lot has happened, because obviously the big, obvious elephant in the room is
Right.
Avengers Infinity War dropped another trailer.
They did. I enjoyed that trailer thoroughly. Had to watch it a couple of times to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yes. No, it was glorious. I mean, say what you will about Marvel movies being formulaic or you feeling that they don't have enough stakes or they don't take enough chances creatively or whatever. But seeing all these characters come together and seeing this story finally come into a crescendo, like, one thing I noticed in both trailers that they've released for Infinity War so far is they don't have, like, a big money shot.
Right.
Like, their biggest money shot, I think, in the first trailer is the scene where, the Avengers are, like, running in slow motion. There's Cap and Black Panther and, Hulk and all that. But, other than that, there's not been no real big set piece, no big battle that we've seen where it's like, oh, that looks so cool. Like, I can't wait to see that fight. They've been relying a lot on
our knowledge of
the characters. And your investment in their relationships.
Sure. How they all interact with each other.
Exactly. Iron Man and Star-Lord interacting for the first time, and Peter being there. Peter is literally the fanboy of the MCU.
Oh, of course,
and he's the audience, basically. So when he's sitting there and Cap and Tony and the other Peter Quill, Star-Lord, are having their little banter back and forth about the plan or whatever, and he's just kind of like wide-eyed and just like staring at him. He's like, this is so cool. Like he's us.
Right. He is, yeah.
But everything that they show in the trailers, all the expectation and stuff is just there from you wanting to see what happens to these characters. You're not necessarily going like, oh, this fight scene looks so cool, or these special effects. I mean, now, granted, yes, Thanos, and we finally got a good look at the Black Order. We saw, I think the guy's name is Ebony Maw. It's the part where Doctor Strange has like the needles or glass going in his face, and that guy's like put his fingers up to his lips, and he's like, shh. Yeah. Like, that's one of Thanos' like henchmen or whatever.
Okay, okay. I was kind of curious who that guy was.
Yeah, and then there's another shot where you see Loki standing there, and there's some people standing around him. That's the Black Order. That's
okay.
A chick with like a spear.
Yeah. I thought that was what they were.
I'm pretty sure that she's the same one who throws it at Cap in the first trailer, where he catches it and he comes out of the shadows.
Right.
So there's going to be some kind of scene where they interact as well. But I think that first scene where we see Loki is going to be towards the beginning of the movie, kind of picks up after the end of Thor Ragnarok, where they run into Thanos, and that's how he's going to get the Tesseract Infinity Stone.
Yes.
But, yeah, there was just so much stuff in here that got me excited for it that wasn't like some big action scene, which you would expect, that they would just go in like, showing... Their plan is so close to the vest, and I'm shocked for a movie that's this big and this anticipated that they're not really showing us a whole lot of anything. Like, we're learning a little bit more about the story.
Right.
But not really a whole lot. I mean, Gamora has that little monologue at the beginning where she's like, as far as I've known him, he's always wanted to destroy half the universe. Right. And yada, yada, which they've already come out and said that it's not going to be beat for beat, Infinity War from the comics.
Right.
Because in the comic, he actually does, snap his finger and destroys half the life in the universe. That's before the Avengers even confront him. It's kind of like that scene in Watchmen where they confront Ozymandias and they're trying to stop him from destroying New York. Sure. And he's like, I did that shit half an hour ago. Like, they're already dead. Like, what are you talking about?
Right,
like,
you're a little late to the party there.
Right. So that's what kind of like the cool, interesting thing was with Infinity War was that, when they come to fight Thanos, he's already killed half the universe. So they're trying to fight after they've lost half of their forces and shit.
Right.
But I wanted to address this because it kind of pissed me off. A lot of people are complaining about the scene at the very end before the stinger in the trailer where Thanos is, it looks like pressing down on Cap.
Okay.
And Cap's like, trying to hold him back and stop it. People are pissed about that because they're like, well, there's no way that Cap should be able to fight back against Thanos. Thanos is like a human and Cap is like an ant to him, and he should just be able to crush him, and it should just be nothing to him, and this, that, and the other. And I have two things to say to that. One, I understand where they're coming from to a degree. Because just even taking the Infinity Stones out of it, just our sheer size and strength.
Sure. Thanos is huge.
Yeah, he...
Like, huge.
Right, he's huge, yeah. No, he's massive compared to Steve.
Right.
That being said, I don't, and they cut back to Thanos' face and they show him, and it looks like he's kind of struggling. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't seem like
not as easy as it should be.
Right. Like he's just like, oh, this fool or whatever.
Right. Like he's not taking it lightly.
This puny human is trying to fight back against me. Like no, like he's actually kind of putting up a fight. Some. The other thing I'll say to that though is, I don't necessarily feel that Thanos... Well, for one, he doesn't have all the stones. And no, you don't need to have all the stones. You can use each stone individually. You can use them in combinations with each other. It doesn't have to necessarily be... the gauntlet doesn't work until I have all the Infinity Stones. Like, it doesn't have to be a thing like that at all.
Right.
But he does, it looks like, have the Power Stone from Guardians. I am pretty sure he gets that from the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
I think he gets that before he even comes to Earth. So
would make sense.
So, I understand where they're coming from, that Thanos, just off of his base power and the fact that he has the gauntlet and has the Power Stone, should be able to easily just squish Cap. But you have to make a story.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what was in that serum that made Cap who he is.
Sure, but at the same time, I would not think that Cap can go toe-to-toe with, say, Hulk.
No.
But Thor can go toe-to-toe.
I would say Thor went toe-to-toe.
Right, but then in the trailer, you see Thor getting manhandled by Thanos. He's like squeezing his head and shit, and he's like, ah! But then they show Cap later, and he's fighting back, and it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. Like, if Thor can't, fight him... Surely Cap can't be putting up a real struggle. But that's when I go back to the whole writing thing. I'm like,
like you have said, you gotta have a story.
And if you... That was kind of going to be the problem making this story in the first place, was that once Thanos gets the gauntlet, he's so powerful that it kind of isn't a fight anymore. And in the comics... they find a way around that, and they'll probably do this in the movie as well, where he purposefully kind of depowers himself, and he's like, I'm only going to use a third of my strength or whatever. Like, I'm not going to go full blast,
right?
Because it wouldn't be a fight. He could just be like, die, and
be like, squish. That's it.
Right, like he could just speak.
Quickest movie ever.
Right. Squish. So it's like, if you make him that OP. Well, what's the movie? It's like he just go, everybody's dead, give me the stone, the end.
Right, I win.
Right. So it's like, it has to be a story. So, I feel where you're coming from. Yes, Thanos is much more powerful than Captain America, and no, Captain America could not, in a physical confrontation, put up a real struggle against Thanos, but
maybe it's not Cap by itself, though.
True.
We don't know, we know X amount, like small tiny amount for that scene, what we saw in the trailer. Maybe there's extra help from, say, Doc Strange or any other.
I've heard some people even say that they saw Captain America's eyes change color, and they think that that's secretly the Vision,
maybe
like camouflaged as Cap, because right now he's pretending to be a human or whatever.
Oh sure,
because he can shapeshift and shit. So maybe, I don't know.
We might see that come out in the movie, the only thing we can do is wait a couple more months and...
I don't think, everybody has this theory that Vision's going to die, because, obviously they're going to have to take his stone out of his head.
Sure.
I don't think he's going to die. I think he's going to be injured and very hurt from it, but I don't think that's going to kill him. I didn't think that before until I saw this trailer, because in the trailer... they show Shuri, and she has like this hologram. And at first, I thought the hologram she was looking at an Infinity Stone, but when I paused it, it's actually a hologram of Vision's head. So I think that they are going to bring Vision to Wakanda.
Okay.
And Shuri is going to be able to fix him so he can function without the stone.
Maybe.
And still be able to fight.
And have Thanos not know that, maybe?
Right. Because, I mean, we assume, and I'm sure Thanos and them probably assume, hey, if we just take the stone out of him,
then he's going to die.
He's fucking dead.
He'll be useless.
You took his brain or his heart or whatever you want to call it from him. It's like, well...
His life force.
Yeah, it's like, how can you continue on after that?
Right. Well, maybe they're going to replace it with a vibranium one, or, you know...
Right. Just, how did you fix it? Vibranium. Vibranium fixes everything.
It's the key to everything.
That is the catch-all. It can be medicine, it can be metal, it can be whatever you fucking need it to be. Like, it don't matter. Just sprinkle some vibranium on your food, it makes it taste better, everything. It's great. I loved all the Spider-Man love we got in the trailer. I was really, I mean, from the scene where it picks up right after he is on the bus from the first trailer and his arms hair
and he's hanging out the window.
Yeah, and you see him put his mask on, he swings under the bridge, and he kind of skims across the water, which that looked really cool.
That was pretty awesome.
And then you see him when he's watching Star-Lord and Iron Man argue back and forth, and you see more of him in the new Spider.
Suit. Yeah, I'm excited for that new suit. That
looks pretty cool. The little exchange he has, I loved the exchange he had with Doctor Strange, where he's like, "Oh, I'm Peter, by the way," and he goes, "Doctor Strange." He's like, "Oh, so we're using our made-up names, our fake names, yeah." He's, our made-up names.
Say made-up. Yep.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, then I'm Spider-Man." I was like, "That's fucking awesome."
I like Doc Strange's look on his face. He's just like, "Really, kid?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I know who you are."
It makes me interested in how the dynamic of how the other characters are going to act towards Tony, because especially even in Civil War, like, Rhodey kind of calls him out on it. He was like, "You brought a fucking kid here? Like, he's like a teenager. Like, I can't believe you brought him to this battle, like, with these adults."
Right, like, what is he going to do for us?
No, granted, yes, he can hold his own, but he's still a teenager.
Sure.
And he's still in mortal danger. Especially, you know, in this situation, but at this point, with Thanos and everything, it's like, well, we kind of got to take all the help we can fucking get. We can't really be picky and say, well, you know, we could take Spider-Man, but I'm sure we can beat Thanos without him. It'll be fine. It's like, no, hell no. You get Spider-Man. You get his little...
taking Spidey.
You get his little chubby friend.
I don't even remember that kid's name.
Ned, I think is what it was. Yeah, you bring his ass. Aunt May, you bring your ass. Everybody you
pull out some Mary Jane and bring her along too.
Look, shit.
Take Uncle Ben's, you know, dead cremated remains and come along.
Right. Throw some Uncle Ben dust in his eyes. Oh shit. Oh, that's good. What else? Just the visual. Like the color palette that they used, I like that there's a lot of like reds and oranges and stuff when they're in space, and then when they're on Earth, there's a lot of blues and greens. Like a lot of New York looked like it kind of had like a lot of blue tint to it.
Yes,
and then
it
all
did.
The stuff in space looked really reddish, orangish, and shit like that.
A little bit of purple thrown in there. I liked it.
Yeah. I liked that we're definitely going to get some flashbacks about Thanos where they're gonna flesh his story out more, because they have the scene where it's more than most likely, I'm like 100% sure that's Gamora, where she's like a little girl and they are showing how Thanos basically fucking kidnaps her.
Right.
And shit, because, you know, he has Nebula and Gamora as his daughters, but they are not his daughters. Like,
sure, they're kidnapped, raised as a...
Right, as his children.
Right.
He make them fight each other and shit. But, yeah, no, that's going to be really cool to actually see how they met and how he took her under his wing, and just get more backstory about Thanos in general, because I know who Thanos is, because I read the comics, but if all you know are the movies, we really don't know a whole lot about him. Like, everything we've learned about him has either happened off screen or we've learned it from a secondary character. or like secondhand from another character, I should say. We never get it straight from the horse's mouth. We never see Thanos do anything. We only hear about how big and bad he is. And they've been able to coast off that surprisingly all the way up until this point. But now they pretty much have to show us what makes Thanos a good villain. Like, they have to show us why we should be worried about Thanos having the Infinity Gauntlet.
Time to lay the cards on the table, basically.
Yes, no, that's actually a good analogy. You know, that's absolutely right. Some people have complained about some of the comedy that's in the trailer. They're like, "Oh, well, this is supposed to be this super serious, like end of the world thing," and these niggas up there cracking jokes and shit.
Did they not see Ragnarok?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, have you not been following these movies for the past decade? Like, they all have. It doesn't matter what the stakes are. There's always going to be comedy in these movies to some degree or another. Like, they're not going to be a fucking laugh factory, no. But if you think that Marvel is going to pass up the chance to tell some jokes, then you're crazy as fuck. If you thought this was just going to be... If you thought this was going to be Batman versus Superman, then no, you crazy the motherfucker. They will never put out a movie, no matter how high the stakes are, how serious situation is supposed to be. They are never going to put out some shit where it's just straight faced serious the entire movie. It's
sure. I mean, well, look at the part where God, I can't think of his name. Chris Pratt.
Oh, Star-Lord.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Star-Lord. He was talking about, okay, well, we're going to take this plan and we're going to sit and think about it until we make up a really good plan. And the guy he's talking to just stares at him.
Iron Man is just like,
it's Tony.
You fucking dick. Like,
Tony's just like, really?
It's almost like Tony is in that moment realizing, like, is this what I fucking sound like all the time? Like, Jesus Christ.
Why didn't you people tell me?
My God, I'm a fucking asshole. God, Jesus. I can't believe y'all put up with this shit. It's like, yes, Tony, unfortunately, we do. But yeah, no, I'm just glad that they're not giving too much away, you know, about the story or like the fight scenes. I think the most action we see at any point in the trailer is two instances. One, we see a bunch of like Thanos' alien troops go and they're like tackling the Hulkbuster. Mm-hmm. And then the only other part where they show any action is when Spider-Man's swinging at the very end, after he has the joke with Doctor Strange on Spider-Man, which I'm pretty sure that is a continuation of the scene where, remember how I talked about where Thanos crushes a planet and throws it at the Avengers? Uh-huh. Well, in that scene where Spider-Man's swinging at the end, you can see all this like fiery debris
in the background
behind him.
Yeah.
And it looks like some meteors or some shit falling. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is a continuation of that scene where he throws a shit at him, because, I mean, I'm sure, unless that's going to be the end of the fucking movie, you know, they're not going to get away from that.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, other than that, I mean, was there anything else about the trailer that you want to talk about?
I had to explain who Thanos was, but that's not trailer related.
Right, sure. Okay.
You know, I mean, that's just explaining to somebody who isn't quite as involved in the geek life.
I'm interested. Like, so had they, you know, seen all the Marvel movies up until this point?
I think they saw most of them.
Now, I guess the more important question is, did they watch
Ragnarok.
the after credits?
We were watching Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we all know there's two little cutscenes after the credits in Marvel movies. You got the one initial and then the one at the end.
Mm-hmm. The very
end. So we're fast forwarding, and I had mentioned, I was like, you might as well just fast forward quickly. That way, you know, we can get to the first cutscene and then we can get to the second cutscene before I have to go. Because I was on a time limit. And I was explaining... I was explaining how Spidey was getting his new suit. I was explaining how he's got the claws on the back that are coming. I was explaining how Tony got his new suit. I was explaining like who they were fighting in the new movie that was coming out. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, well, who's that purple guy?
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's Thanos.
Right.
Who's Thanos? It was a facepalm moment. I was like, oh my god.
That's the thing I've always been worried about leading up to this, was that if you... One of the best things about this whole shared cinematic universe is that it's more like the comics, where in the comics it would be nothing to see these characters cross over and meet each other and team up and, you know, have big events where they all come together. Like, it would be nothing to see Wolverine and Captain America talk to each other.
Right.
But as far as in movies and stuff, that was unheard of before now. So,
speaking of...
Sure.
It's kind of ironic that we have all of this Marvel collaboration and no mention of X-Men anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Until this Fox thing goes through, and once it does, I don't know how they're going to integrate them into the MCU. If they decide to at all, they might just take over X-Men and just keep them, say it's a parallel dimension, and over here are the X-Men, and over here we have our regular superheroes. Because that's one of the weird things in the comics is it's like, why are the mutants treated like, you know, minorities and shit?
Sure.
But Captain America and Spider-Man and shit. But they you know, they don't go through that.
Right.
They're not persecuted like that. The average person doesn't know the difference between, or doesn't know that Spider-Man got bit by a spider and that's how he got his powers, as opposed to him being born,
right,
you know, with powers.
There's a few that know.
Right. So it's like, well, why do we hate mutants but we like the Avengers? Like, that doesn't make sense. So, I mean, they're going to have to find a way to make that work.
Yeah.
But, you know, who knows what's going to happen after Infinity War. But the point that I wanted to make was, one of the benefits about these movies being more like the comics is that we can see these crossovers now. We can have these team-up movies and stuff like that. The downside to that is that it runs the same problem that comic books run, where the lore becomes a little bit too big. And if you aren't watching every single movie and staying after every end credits thing...
Yeah, and then you're going to miss something.
Right, you know, so it's kind of like in the comics where, hey, if you stop reading for a few issues and you jump back in, it's going to be like, well, oh shit, well, what's going on? Who is this character?
Right.
Why are they in this situation now? So I'm interested to see how normal moviegoers are going to go into this if they... say, skipped out on Ragnarok, or they didn't watch, you know, Guardians 1 and 2, or whatever. So, I like, though, that Marvel, it kind of felt like around, I don't know, maybe after Age of Ultron going forward, that Marvel was pretty much like, look, if you're not on board with this shit by this point, then we're just going to say, fuck it, and we're moving forward.
Right, sorry, you're left in the dust.
Right, like if you haven't been following
you better
these movies,
catch up.
Right, that's if you haven't started watching these by now, you were never going to start watching them.
Right.
So we're not going to keep trying to play catch up with all the people who haven't seen the movies. Like, you're just going to have to be SOL on this one. Sorry.
You better invest in Netflix.
Right, it's like, hey, motherfucker, we've been doing this shit for 10 years. So if you haven't,
Crazy
I know,
to think
right?
about it. It's been that long.
So it's like, hey, if you haven't invested in this by now, then that's your own fucking problem. But no, other than that, April 27th cannot get here soon enough. I'm geeked for this shit.
Is it April or is it May?
It was supposed to be May, and then they moved it up a week.
Oh.
Yeah, it was going to be May 4th, I believe, and then they moved it to April 27th.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, so I'm like, and that's a good sign, because that shows confidence in the movie, I think, on Disney and Marvel's part, because they're like, shit, like, we know this shit's so good, we finna give it to y'all a week early now. That, and I think they're kind of trying to give some breathing room for Han Solo.
Maybe.
And Deadpool's coming out in May.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a lot of movies coming out in May.
There really is.
Yeah.
I think I've been to the movies 2 or 3 times in the last 2-3 weeks. And the number of trailers that keeps hitting, I'm like, oh my god, every time I go to the movies, there's another new trailer.
Now, you saw, off topic, we're done with Infinity War talk. You went and seen Death Wish, right?
I did.
How was that?
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, now have you seen the original Death Wish?
I have not.
Okay,
I didn't know there was an original.
Okay.
But I am a very big Bruce Willis fan, you know.
As am I.
Most of his movies, top of the shelf, grade A. There's a few we won't mention that are just awful, but, not everybody can hit a grand slam with everything.
No.
So, I mean, that being said, I really enjoyed it. It was very, it kind of had a Taken feel to it.
Okay.
So kind of similar to Taken.
Revenge story type thing.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like a vigilante kind of revenge. Punisher meets Taken, I guess.
Okay.
That's the best way that I can probably describe it.
Okay. So, I mean, without you having any baggage from expectations from the original movie, you just watching it as a movie on its own, you thought it was just fine.
Oh, I thought it was absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
Like, from beginning to end, there wasn't any kind of we're going to hold our breath and hope this gets better kind of deal. Mm-hmm. It was, you go into it, and not necessarily something I'd take the kids to go see.
Oh, no. Yeah.
maybe some kids, I don't know. But
Right.
It was definitely, you get into it, and it starts off good. It continues good through the middle. It takes a little bit of a turn where you're like, oh, well, I wonder if this is maybe going to happen. And then it's completely the opposite, where you're like, nope, I was wrong. Just quick detour. And then it finished strong. So without trying to give too much away.
Sure.
I know it's still in theaters. Mm-hmm. It only premiered, last week?
Yeah, it hasn't been out very long.
So I don't really want to throw any spoilers out to too many people.
Sure.
So, but yes, I enjoyed it. Tyler went with me. He was super excited about it. We watched the trailer a couple of times.
Okay.
We were showing it to all of our friends and family. We were like, oh my God, look at this movie.
All right, did you make this? No, but I'm really excited for it.
You gotta go see this. And then after the fact, you're just like, yeah, it was a really good movie. You should go see this movie, and you're gonna really enjoy it if you like that kind of a revengey kind of thing.
It's like, hey, if you like
Bruce Willis and you like...
If the Punisher and Taken had a baby...
it would be Death Wish.
And you should go see it.
It certainly would.
Because I know a lot of critics were kind of shitting on it because, but I think they have a predisposition already about the movie because they've seen the original and they have expectations about what it should be like.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was an original. See?
Yeah, no, it's from the 70s, I want to say. Yeah, it's old.
Now I want to go and look at it.
Yeah, no, I still want to see this, and I haven't seen the original either, so I would be interested to see how I would react to this just off the strength of what it is on its own. Right.
Maybe once I go back, I'm going to a little time off this week, so I'll go back and I'll try and find that 70s original.
Death Wish, yeah. Okay.
See what I can come up with comparison-wise.
Mm.
I mean, it's not going to change. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I did like it, but it doesn't follow this original, so my feelings on it kind of shift a little. No, it's not going to be one of those things.
Good.
I'm sure.
Good. It's like, oh man, see, I could have gave it a chance, but fuck it.
So many people do that, or they compare books to movies.
Yeah.
And
I can be guilty of that myself. I'm not even gonna pretend like I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have recorded me complaining about just that very thing. So yeah, I can't go back on that. But yeah, I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
But anywho.
I'm not one that, this was the original. No, this is the remake. Now I have to compare the two. I'm not writing a book report. Come on
it's
now.
Like, I don't need to compare and contrast this shit.
No, we don't have any Venn diagrams going on. It's just...
right, it's a bunch of strings and shit.
Enjoy the movie and watch it. I mean, just be thankful that you got a good movie.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Okay. In our next story, Ava Duvernay is going to direct a New Gods movie for DC. Now, New Gods are... It's a storyline written by Jack Kirby back in the 70s about... here, let me pull this up real quick so I can give you a little bit more detailed information. So when this story initially broke, it was Variety, I do believe, that came out with this. And I am going to read from their article. It says, Ava DuVernay is stepping into the superhero universe. The filmmaker has come on board to direct New Gods at Warner Brothers. as part of the studio's DC Extended Universe. New Gods, based on the DC comic series of the same name, is aimed at creating a new universe of properties for the studio. Created and designed by Jack Kirby, the comic was first released, in 1971. The New Gods are natives of twin planets of New Genesis and Apocalypse. New Genesis is an idyllic planet ruled by the High Father, while Apocalypse is a dystopia filled with machinery and fire pits ruled by the tyrant Darkseid. New Genesis and Apocalypse call themselves gods, and living outside of normal time and space in a realm known as the Fourth World. So, yeah, basically, Ava DuVernay, she is an African-American director, and she directed the Selma movie. And she also directed A Wrinkle in Time, which just recently came out. She was supposed to originally direct Black Panther, but for creative differences, whatever that means, dropped out, and Ryan Coogler came on and directed Black Panther instead. A Wrinkle in Time is not getting very good reviews.
I've seen several trailers for Wrinkle in Time.
Sure.
Like I said, I've been to the movies a couple times last couple weeks. And I've looked up the trailer online. I really don't understand what is supposed to be going on in that movie.
Yeah, it's based off this book from back in the day, and it's this beloved book. Like, it was like the Harry Potter of its time, I guess. But
it must have been before my time, which is crazy because I have some really far back tastes for certain things, you know. Yeah,
and so but I don't know a whole lot about it either. But just the trailer, I don't know. There was just something about it that just didn't seem appealing to me.
Yeah, it's not striking my fancy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, well, you know. And so, that kind of gives me some hesitation about her doing this New Gods movie.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue with them making a New Gods movie now is, what exactly were we doing before? I am not a proponent of Zack Snyder in the DC universe. I think that he was wrong for Man of Steel. I think he was wrong for Batman vs. Superman. I think he's a good director in general. I don't think he's the best storyteller per se.
Okay.
But I think visually he can compose a shot and make it look very good. I love his visual style. I don't necessarily like the way he tells his stories per se, but Zack Snyder was setting this up already in Batman vs. Superman with, you remember the scene where Batman's having kind of like the nightmare about Earth and like the big Darkseid symbol is burned into the ground and he's fighting the parademons and all that. They were setting all this shit up, and then Steppenwolf being the villain and Justice League. All this was leading towards the New Gods. Like, that's who Darkseid and Steppenwolf are.
They're the part of this New God universe.
Exactly. And so they've already started setting this up, but now they're going to do this movie. And it seems as though this is going to be separate from...
Like, it's not going to include the Batman versus Superman.
Pretty much, yeah. Like this is going to be separate from the DCEU that we know currently. And I'm like... What are we doing? Like, okay, I get wanting to restructure and change the way things are set up here and there, but if we're going to just disregard the whole last, setup of movies,
right,
and try and make this something separate, it's like, what are we doing anymore?
I think that's a bad idea. I really do.
Yeah, because it's going to negate everything they've done already.
Which isn't much, but at the same time,
Right, because, I mean, for example, is this a new Steppenwolf than the Steppenwolf that we had in Justice
League, yeah.
Or is he just going to be dead and not even be in this because he's connected to, the current universe as it stands now? Are we just going to reboot everything? And, because, I mean, that's what I got a feeling that is going to happen with this Flashpoint movie, because Ben Affleck don't want to do this fucking shit no more. Right. He wants to be out. I mean... We still haven't seen Aquaman yet, so, I mean, we don't know how that's going to turn out, but I think Aquaman's going to be the linchpin of this shit, and if that doesn't go over well, I think it's going to be a wrap for the DC.
Probably.
Like, they're going to scrap all this shit.
Mentioning Aquaman, I saw... Well, what did I see? I saw an article talking about the release of Aquaman in December.
Sure.
And I think I saw like a mini teaser trailer possibly put together by fans.
Okay.
Possibly,
Okay.
Piggybacking off the end of Justice League. Not sure. I personally would like to see an Aquaman movie. I'm really excited about that in, December?
Yeah,
I think it says like the 19th
November,
or something.
December or something like that.
Somewhere in there. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean,
They're taking a character that isn't quite as well known and kind of giving him some status.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of giving him some status.
Yeah, like Stephen Hawking, Aquaman has been the butt of a lot of Family Guy jokes too, so.
Yep.
No, I mean, I don't get me wrong. It's not that I think it's a bad idea. Okay, no, I'm lying. I do think it's a bad idea to make a New Gods movie. It goes back to my dead horse and I'm always beating. We don't need to make a movie about the characters
behind the scenes.
Right. I don't want to see Robin the movie. I don't want to see Joker the movie.
Right.
I want to see Batman the movie with Robin and Joker in it.
Right.
No one is... On paper, it probably sounds like a good idea, but in execution, I can't imagine you making a good movie about... Because either one of two things are going to happen. Either A, you're going to have to dumb the character... Or not necessarily dumb the character down, but... make the character less villainous so then we as an audience like them and want to see them succeed at whatever they're doing.
Right.
Because you don't want a movie where the entire time you hate the main character.
Right, you're not going to sit through the movie.
Right, exactly. Or they're going to do something where they're the bad guy, but then there's an even more bad guy that they have to fight. Because, I mean, think about it.
Like they did in Suicide Squad?
Exactly, where it's like, we the bad guys, but we gotta fight Enchantress, who is a real bad guy, and we're kind of bad, but not really. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. So, I mean, yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't want to see this New Gods thing happen, because I'm like, just make a fucking Justice League movie, and then you can explain who the New Gods are, and Apocalypse and Darkseid and all that in that movie. Who knows? I mean, we may not even ever get a Justice League 2 with the way that shit, flopped at the theaters. We may never see the Justice League come together again.
Nope.
And then it's sad.
I think the people that are directing DC movies, they really need to go back to the comics.
Yeah.
I mean...
But the right comics, though. Stop going back to the Dark Knight Returns well. Like, go to something else.
Yes. There's so many to choose from, and that might be part of the problem, is there's so many different... you have the Dark Knight series, and you got this series, and you got that series, and there's just so many to pick from that they're trying to, pick and choose and mush it all together in the point where it's not making any sense. And so it's flopping because it's not making any sense. And I think they just need to pick one set of storylines and one set of comics to try and follow and make movies about, and then you'll have a success.
And I think as well that because there are so many different points of reference from the source material that they keep trying to meld different characters together,
right.
And different stories together, and it doesn't quite fit right. It's like the whole problem with Batman versus Superman was that they took the foundation or the core of what the Dark Knight Returns comic was about, but then took the Death of Superman story and put it in there, and took Darkseid and the New God stuff and put it in there, and it didn't feel like a one coherent story. It just felt like chunks of a bunch of other stories.
Yeah, they're trying to Photoshop something in a paint program.
Thank you. Yes. So, I mean, I don't think that Ava DuVernay is a bad director. I think Selma is a really good movie. I mean, I think that she can make a good New Gods movie, whatever that means. I don't know. Because, like I said, I don't know what a good movie without the main character is.
Right.
But, I mean, who knows? I mean, DC is...
Maybe it'll be our saving grace. We don't know. I doubt it, but maybe.
It won't. Stop lying.
Hey, you know me.
You know.
I'm one of the ones that always has hope no matter how many times life kicks me down. So
don't get me wrong. Batman will be fine. Like, Batman as a brand is too entrenched in pop culture at this point to ever go anywhere. There's always going to be somebody that will be willing to play Batman. There's always going to be a want for a Batman movie. Like, he'll be fine. But Aquaman and Cyborg and shit and Flash and them, like, Wonder Woman hopefully this movie will stay around longer.
If they keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman, they might get quite a few followers.
Maybe, but see...
I like Jason Momoa
I do too.
He played it well.
But my problem with him is, I don't know, can he carry a movie by himself? Because, he's never... nothing that's been mainstream to the point that I've heard about it, but... I
think he did, a couple of TV shows.
He was in Game of Thrones. Oh, you know what? He did do, I'm sorry. He did do the Conan movie.
Yes.
But that wasn't very good. Now, I don't know if that was a directing thing or if that was an acting thing, but that movie wasn't very good. But anyway, that's besides the point. Shout out to Ava Duvernay. I hope you do something good with it, but I don't know. The fact that you walked away from Black Panther to make this bullshit is I don't know what the hell you was thinking. You should have stayed with Disney. Like, when you walked away from Black Panther, it was like, hey, well, we're thinking about maybe making this Wrinkle in Time movie. They hooked you up with that, but then you go off to DC and do some potential bullshit.
Oh. Jason, got sidetracked on Jason Momoa. Just to see if he's done anything.
As you do.
Crazy. Yeah.
Sure.
Apparently he's got a Crow movie coming out.
Yes, I've been hearing about that. I've been waiting for more stuff to come out about that before we talk about it. But yeah, I've been kind of following that too.
That'd be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Spoiler for a future episode.
Won't talk about it much more, but it's interesting.
But yeah,
2019 though. Still gotta wait another year for it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we see how this Aquaman movie, dude, that shit might not come out in 2019. Jason, we're gonna go ahead and just cash you out. And
I want to say Aquaman is scheduled for December 21st.
Okay, so it is December 21st.
Way towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last bang of 2018. Jason
Momoa, William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna play his mother, I believe.
Dolph Lundgren.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Haven't seen much from him lately.
If he dies, he dies.
Right. And Michael K. Williams. That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, so we are going to get into a subject that I'm very passionate about and a touchy subject for some people. We're going to get kind of political here for a minute. On a very special episode of One Giant Leap for Geeks. No, we're going to get a little political here for a second. A little bit. Not too much, so don't run away. And I specifically put this at the end so I wouldn't completely bring the show down and dour.
Now, fair warning, if you have any questions, comments, concerns that disagree with what is about to be said, everything civil is welcome.
Yes.
But we refuse to allow any kind of hate speech.
Yeah. So please keep the...
You can have a civil discussion and disagree. You can disagree with people.
Oh, yes, for sure.
You may disagree with us. You may side with one of us or the other if we're varying, but please keep it civil.
Yeah.
Any negative comments, questions, concerns will be deleted immediately. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's like, don't be an asshole. And, like she said, it's totally okay to agree and or disagree with anything that we say. It's free country. Just be nice about it. But yeah, so after the Parkland shooting, this debate has reemerged of, do violent media cause violence in people. And I mean, violent media being action movies and more specifically video games. Do they cause violent tendencies and or outbursts in people? Now, this isn't the first time that this has happened. Like I said, since the Parkland shooting in Florida, this debate has kind of reemerged again. This is a thing going all the way back to the 80s, 90s, when video games are starting to become more advanced and you could do more things with the graphics. And video games did start to become more mature and more, I guess, violent, and sexual and different things like that. I remember when there were no parental ratings on video games. That's a thing that's happened within the last 20 years or so. And I remember there was like Senate hearings and all kinds of shit back in the day about, these games are going to cause kids to do this, that, and the other. I mean, there's always something for every generation. Like, back when our grandparents were young, it was
the rock music.
Right. Rock music is making them crazy. And if you play it backwards, it's a message from the devil and it's telling you to kill your parents and all this other kind of shit. And, movies and video games have gone through this cycle multiple times. So it's not the first time this kind of thing have been kind of basically, I feel like, used as a scapegoat to, instead of trying to have a actual conversation about, mental health and gun reform and things like that, people are trying to find something they can just point at and say, it's this, if we can get rid of this, it'll fix everything. Everything was fine before video games corrupted everybody. And I mean, I think it's a ridiculous argument. I mean, when people try and make this argument, people who support this point, they kind of point to this study that's an outlier that, suggests that, there's some kind of correlation between aggressive behavior and aggressive media. And there's other studies that contradict that one that are more recent, use better techniques and things like that say the opposite. And I mean, honestly, I don't feel that video games are any more likely to incite aggressive tendencies in someone than, say, playing a contact sport would, or watching a movie, or listening to music that talks about violence or something like that. Basically, my thing is, people who are likely to do some fucked up shit are gonna snap using whatever catalyst is available to them. So if they like video games, then that's going to be their thing. If they like movies, that's going to be their thing. If they just like going out and hunting and shit and shooting deer, that'll be their thing. That'll make them go like, well, see, if we didn't let him go hunt, he would have never went and shot up the school.
Right.
Shit,
that'll be their thing where you can take it away.
Right, exactly.
In air quotes. And all will be better.
Exactly.
We're looking as a society for this quick scapegoat. And we're trying to do everything that we can to shift the blame from what's really going on and how to fix it. It's kind of interesting. This was sidebar topic that I didn't know about until we got here. So you got here to record. Right. So I'm actually quite interested to see your side of this. How do I want to put this? I agree with you to the fact that if you are already a violent person, or you are already somebody that has violent tendencies, then you're going to play out those violent tendencies, fantasies, however you can get your hands on it. If you're a violent person, you're going to listen to the violent music. You're going to watch the violent movies. And you're going to seek it out. You're going to actively seek it out. So that goes back to does the violent movies, video games, TV shows, music, whatever, cause the violence in the person? Or does the violence in the person cause the demand for the...
Yeah, I'm more inclined to the latter of the two, where I'm more inclined to say that someone who... I feel that art is just a reflection of the human condition, and if people are crazy and, you know, killing each other in the streets all the time, it's just a reflection of real life and just how the world is in general. So I don't think that media is necessarily forming the way society acts. I think media is just a reflection of what our society is. So, I mean, hey, if we got a lot of violent movies and shit like this because we're violent fucking species, that's what we are, you know? I don't necessarily think that these things are causing people to do anything. Specifically, at least.
I don't think it's a causation thing at all.
Yeah.
I think there's a correlation between the two.
Okay.
And there is a difference between cause and correlation.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's kind of like that chicken versus the egg thing.
Yeah, okay.
Which one comes first? Does the violent media come because there's a demand for it?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there a demand for it and more of action on it because it's there?
Right.
Like, you can go back and forth, and there is no definite answer.
Right. No one has a definitive thing they can point at and say, see, look, this proves what.
That's why they're trying to have these scapegoats. That, the violent video games caused him to be violent.
Mm.
Okay, but say your son was a violent person,
mm-hmm.
and he goes out and he shoots something.
Mm-hmm.
Group of people at a club or whatever.
Sure.
There were signs.
Mm-hmm.
And as a person, you can't think that, my son was just not this person that liked to shoot things until he got a hold of violent video games.
Mm.
You don't want to think that.
Right.
In reality, there were signs there showing that this kid was a violent kid.
Mm.
He just never had the information on how to act on it.
Right. And I mean, and I will say that I've seen people online kind of talk about how, you know, kind of to the point of what you're saying, and, you know, I don't want you to take anything I'm going to say as me attacking you or anything.
Not at all. We can disagree. And
Right, exactly. And you know, I guess I've been seeing people go like, well, you know, if somebody had done something in this, that, and the other, and I mean, they did expel the kid, you know, and it kind of sucks, but the reality of the situation is, and I mean, yes, granted, they had been tipped off, you know, the FBI was aware of what was going on and things like that, so it wasn't like everybody was completely oblivious to what was kind of showing. Oh,
sure, they never are. There, you know, there's always the information that says they were, you know, the cops were told, the FBI was told.
Right. Anonymous tips and all that.
It was
shit.
already there.
Yeah. I just think that the problem partially is it's hard to do anything to someone until they've done something.
Sure.
Especially when it comes to mental health, because it's like you can't just commit somebody because someone said you're crazy.
Right. You're going to cross that ethical borderline.
Right. So until you actually do something crazy, then, you know, it's just, well, he said, she said, so, you know, and it could just be somebody who doesn't like you, you know? Because, I mean, if we start going down that slippery slope and we're just going to condemn everybody or commit everyone who's accused of something, I mean, anybody can just be like, well, I don't like DJ Melly Mel. That bitch crazy as hell. Like, she busted out my car windows or something. She need to be in a straitjacket, which, I mean, maybe you do. But still, you know, maybe you don't. And who gets to make that judgment at that point?
Right.
You know, it's like, what criteria are we holding these people to say you are sane?
Right, and just FYI, I don't bust out windows.
Right.
I've been known to break a glass or two, but that's totally by accident. I'm just really clumsy.
Right.
But no, I mean, I absolutely get what you're saying, and I we've been through this before as a country. way back, if I remember correctly, somebody said somebody was a witch. Somebody said there wasn't. Start burning people at the stake. You know, I mean, it's more modern now. Okay, so you're crazy and you're not, but we're not going to put the crazy person in the insane asylum. We're going to put the non-crazy person and make them crazy.
Right, and even if we aren't committing all these people, it's like,
how are you able to judge that?
Sure, right. It could start off as a thing of, okay, we won't let you buy firearms, but then it could start to become more, and it goes, well, you can't drive a motor vehicle, or you can't own a home, or you can't raise a child. You know, it's like, where does this stop? Right. So, I mean, I don't have the answers. I'm not trying to advocate that I want guns to be taken away from anybody.
Right.
I don't know who should or should not be able to buy a gun. I don't know what their appropriate age is for buying a gun. I don't have those answers. All I know is that we can't start having a serious conversation about how we can stop these things, or at least deter these things from happening in this country, if we're too busy arguing about if Grand Theft Auto made Timmy shoot up the church.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's like, I grew up with games like Doom and Mortal Kombat and Halo and Grand Theft Auto and all these kinds of things, excuse me. But I've never had any inclination to do anything. You know, it's like I said at the beginning, I feel that if you're inclined to do some fucked up shit, you're going to do some fucked up shit.
Right.
And you're going to use whatever thing is in front of you to be your catalyst.
Exactly. You're going to actively seek out the things that stimulate your brain. And, you know, I mean, if Timmy's a violent kid, Timmy's going to seek out things that excite violence. And that might not necessarily be any one person and or thing's cause. Like, there could be no cause.
Oh, yeah, he could have just fucking snapped.
And, you know, I don't know. You don't know.
Right.
None of us know, and that's the problem, is a lot of people, like you said, are looking for, oh, well, we're going to take this away, and then everything will be hunky-dory. But it's not.
No.
It's not a black and white kind of thing. And it's a very gray area.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and my other issue is, like, with these politicians and people on social media and stuff, like, talking about this, is they say it like there's not already a system in place for this. You know, there are, you know, ESRB ratings and things like that on video games.
Sure.
If you're a minor, you can't legally go out and buy a mature rated game without an adult, you know.
Right, you can't get into a movie either.
Right, exactly. So it's like, let's not pretend that this shit is just, you know, playing on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just like rape and murder on TV and shit on fucking ABC Kids or something. Like, it doesn't work that way. But that's how these people are kind of presenting it, like, well, we need to do something about this. It's an epidemic. Look at this, the shit our children are consuming. And I'm like, well,
don't buy it for them.
If little Timmy is 8 years old and he's calling me a nigger on Grand Theft Auto, that's the parents' problem.
Yes.
That's them fucking up, because they know that their child is not old enough to be playing this, and there's a reason for that. Like, I would never...
Well, having small children, I mean...
Right. Like, I would never actively expose my child to people online until they've hit a certain level of maturity.
Sure.
And I've kind of prepared them for this, because they're going to... Now, granted, kids
are going to be kids and get online.
Yeah, right, when they're not around parents, and I'm sure they say horrible things
I'm sure.
on their own, but at the same time, I'm not going to actively participate in exposing them to that when I know that this type of media is not made for their consumption.
Right.
This is not meant. That's why there's parental blocks and
there are ratings on these games. And as you say, an 8-year-old doesn't walk into GameStop by themselves.
No.
And buy this $75 game. Who's supplying the $75 here?
Right, exactly.
You know, I mean, yes, I babysat as a kid. We all did our little mowed lawns or odd jobs or whatever we could do. Birthday money, whatever. But if you're actively monitoring what your kids are watching, buying, playing, you know, my mom did. My mom, you know, I was well into my 18, 19-year-old before I watched certain things.
Yeah.
And most people will be like, oh, well, you were sheltered in your life and you didn't do that. Okay, well, I didn't do that until I turned 18. I was old enough to make that decision on my own. I mean, that's part of being an adult, right?
Oh, yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
You get to make that decision. As an 8-year-old, you don't get to make that decision.
No, and I mean, and the fact that the parents are the ones facilitating this for them is what the problem is that we want to point at the
media itself.
Right, or society outside of the house and go, well, they should have seen the signs and they should have saw this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, maybe
you should have seen
you should have not been, you know, giving little Timmy fucking, you know, the password to Netflix and he can just go watch and consume whatever he wants to with no supervision when it's blatantly labeled, this is not for children.
Right. Oh, there are some things on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That if I had small children, they would certainly be. They would have to have the kids' account.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's like we can't get upset at how
we can't expect other people to raise our kids.
Right. About how these kids act when we are not taking care of what we should be in the household.
Right.
You know, when we're not raising them properly or at least monitoring the kinds of things that they are taking in and being exposed to, then it's kind of our fault.
And
as
sit
parents.
down and talk to your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not a common thing anymore because everybody works and everybody's got crazy schedules and kids are home by themselves. But, you know, I remember dinner time. You sit down, you talk about things, you find out how the day was or how your activities were, or, you know, even if you hit the deep subjects, you know, your kids see something on TV and you want to sit and talk about it with them. Ask them how it made them feel or what their perspective is on, say, a shooting or a bomb threat, or because that's what it was when we were kids.
Yeah,
it was the bomb threats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, I remember 4th or 5th grade. We had to have clear backpacks. It had to be either clear or like a mesh kind of thing.
Right,
you had to be able to see through it.
Yeah.
Because there were so many bomb threats.
Yep, I remember there were times where they had bomb sniffing dogs in my school, checking lockers and shit.
And you know,
we had metal detectors in our school.
Okay, we didn't, but I do remember, you know, you can't have this, can't have that. And from one school year to the next, and just from the end of one school year to the next, that year that we had to have clear backpacks, come beginning of summertime, you couldn't find a clear backpack anywhere because they didn't make them. No. All these bomb threats start coming out. Suddenly you have clear backpacks everywhere. And it's just, unfortunately, how we had to deal with the situation at the time.
A little sidebar, I do find it kind of disgusting the way that a lot of companies are capitalizing on people's fear about these mass shootings and shit.
Oh, sure.
Like, the idea that you would even propose to me that I would need to buy a bulletproof backpack for my child to be safe at school is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely.
Like, Okay.
Can you imagine that letter coming home with your kid?
Right. Like, oh, well, we are going to give you a link to a website where you can purchase or a fucking Kevlar backpack for, your child to keep them safe so they can use it as a fucking shield. Like they're Captain America or some shit. I'm like, what have we come to as a society where there is even if there isn't a demand for it, but that there is a company
willing to
people,
profit on that,
right, would sit there and go like, we can capitalize on this fear and use this to make monetary gain from it.
Yeah,
like that's disgusting to me. And I mean, this is probably going to be the most politicized thing I'm going to say tonight. The idea that we want to give educators, people who have gone to college and spent, the better part of their adult life wanting to cultivate knowledge in children, and we want to give them guns.
Thank you!
Like, that is the most absurd fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. We want to give the 90-year-old librarian, Mrs. Johnson, a fucking Glock to protect the kids, right? Like, she's going to be the one to stop. If only the algebra teacher had a Uzi, then he could have stopped all this shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, this is absurd.
Oh, my thought on that.
We barely can give these schools and teachers enough money for books,
correct,
and maintaining the buildings that have our kids in, and having a good lunch program and everything else, and
they don't even pay for lunch programs,
right? And they're losing the arts classes, like band and
music
AV and shit like that. But yet we can somehow figure out a budget for guns for teachers. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Or we're gonna make these teachers who barely make a salary as is buy their own guns. Right.
It's like you have two jobs. You're a teacher and a cop now.
Yeah.
You're armed security. It would be absurd. I mean, look, and this is one of the things that happens when you live in a poor area and when you're a minority as opposed to when you're white or
right.
more affluent area. When I was in school after Columbine and shit, like I said, we had bomb sniffing dogs.
Yep.
We had to go through metal detectors every day. We had armed security guards in our school. There were cameras in our school. I promise you, Parkland didn't probably have any of that shit. Parkland probably didn't have no metal detectors. They probably had no cameras. And it's like, why? Because it's a predominantly white school in a well-to-do area in Florida?
Well, I mean...
It's like, but in the hood... We got to be on lockdown when we at school and shit. But I'm like, but most of these, 90% of these school shootings happen in well-to-do schools and well-to-do areas.
Sure.
Because I'm like, the kids in the ghetto and shit, they can't afford fucking assault rifles and all this fucking shit.
I'm on the opposite side of that. I went to 2 different high schools.
Sure.
2 different states. One of which was Texas.
Okay.
And one was in Michigan. Both were pretty much predominantly a nice area.
Sure.
I mean, granted, one was a small town, but it was still a nice area. Okay. At the school that I went to in Michigan, we didn't have the metal detectors. We didn't have the cameras. We didn't have all of that stuff. We didn't have all that. At the one in Texas, mind you, where everybody carries a gun.
Right.
We had, like, front door locks. So you could only get in through a certain door. Every other door was locked. There was a security guard. And we didn't have metal detectors, but there was cameras in the entire school. So, I mean, we had some of those things. Still a predominantly nice area. No school shootings that I knew of.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think that had any of my teachers been carrying a gun, if the time come that it was necessary to need, that I would have felt any safer.
No.
I mean, the security guard had a gun.
Right.
But I didn't feel
Right, at least with them, they've gone through
right. They know what to do in that kind of a situation
or something. Yeah, and I mean, yes, one could make the argument that you could train the teachers, but I'm like, they shouldn't have to do that.
Right, right.
Just like I shouldn't have to buy my kid a bulletproof backpack, my teacher shouldn't have to learn how to fucking shoot a gun to be a teacher.
Correct, and
like this is like third world country
shootings.
Type shit.
Yeah, think about the school shootings. They don't happen over a very long period of time. The shooter walks in, he starts shooting.
Yeah.
So you're talking, what, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Tops?
Right.
I've seen these locks that go under the door. They slide under the door and then they push open. And they're supposed to lock the door. Practical in theory, sure. Somebody's going to shoot that door or shoot through the wall or shoot through the window. I mean, if you have 10 seconds to act, before you even know what's going on, the shooter's already in there.
Right.
So,
I
understand, like, there's precautions in air quotes that, oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. In theory, yes. Practicality, not so much.
Not only that, but my issue with the teachers and the faculty with guns and stuff. Like I said, even if you train them how to use it and teach them what to do in a crisis situation, this, that, and the other, it's one thing to know how to use a gun and be effective with it or whatever. It's a totally other thing to be in the moment and be able to have composure.
Right.
And be willing to put your life on the line for someone else. Because people who go into security, armed security, law enforcement, bodyguards, stuff like that, that's a certain personality type, and you kind of go into it knowing what to expect and knowing that this is a dangerous thing that I'm doing. When you're a fucking teacher, that is not,
no, that's not your thought process at all.
At all. And I mean, and we've kind of veered away from the whole video game thing, but just this whole conversation that we're having as a nation right now about guns and school shootings and violent media and just mental health issues and everything else, it's so much noise, and I feel like we're never gonna really, and I almost feel like that's kind of the point, is that the people who don't want us to actually have a real conversation about this keep just putting out bullshit information and getting people hyped up and scared about the wrong things. So we never actually sit down and go like, okay, what kind of compromise can we come to that keeps people who are on both sides of this issue happy and keep our kids safe?
Yeah.
And it's sad, but...
What stops the teacher from going crazy?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean thank you. No, thank you for saying that, because
I know that
half of these motherfuckers, especially in Florida, half of these motherfucking teachers can't stop fucking these kids. So we want to give them guns now, too? Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Some teachers are not all there in the first place. I mean, don't take what I'm about to say incorrectly.
Sure.
I support teachers. They're great. And they're very a necessity. I know people that have had teachers that used duct tape and duct taped these kids to the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the teacher went off and she duct taped the kid to a chair.
I've heard some horror stories about some teachers, yeah.
And you want to give this woman a gun?
Right.
I recently saw a video on Facebook, and this woman is beating a student with a stapler.
Oh.
And he's not even a little kid. He's in high school.
Oh, wow.
And this teacher goes off.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sure that the kid said some smart-ass remark.
Sure, I'm sure. It was
teenagers, it's possible. More than likely.
Right.
But that kid did not deserve to be beat with a stapler.
No.
She hauls off. She takes the stapler in her hand and is beating the kid with her, in the head with this metal stapler. And they want to give people like that a gun.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly, because when you go into education...
The solution to gun violence is not more gun violence.
No.
It's not, my students may or may not have a gun, so I'm going to have one. That's not going to fix anything.
No. And I think that, when, again, these are not the types of things that they were screening for or requirements to be a teacher. You don't need to be a sane person to be a teacher per se. As long as you can do the curriculum and teach, as long as you can absorb the knowledge and be able to regurgitate it to someone else so they can absorb it, that's the only qualifications that you fucking need. Like, so there is nothing to say that, hey, our staff that we've hired might have some mental health issues of their own, and now we want to give them a gun.
Right.
And say they have a bad day. And I mean, most, shootings and things like that happen because these people have access to these weapons. Like, I feel like if somebody snaps, they're more likely to shoot up a school because they already had a gun than they would snap and then go out and buy a gun and then shoot up the school.
Right.
It's like, kind of like, if you leave your car door unlocked, somebody's more than most likely to break into your car because the door is unlocked, as opposed to getting a Slim Jim and breaking into your car on their own.
Or just busting the window.
Exactly. Like, it's easier access. So, yeah, I'm more likely going to do some shit because it's right there.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know. There's never going to not be mass murderers. There's never going to not be people who are going to be crazy and they're going to do horrible, horrible things in this world. I just don't want us to start getting down a slippery slope of let's start
blaming the video games.
Let's start censoring arts and entertainment to satiate our fear of this inciting violence in people in general. Because I don't think we'll ever be able to draw a direct line and say this is the problem. And I sure as hell can say, just from my own personal experience, that none of this shit has ever made me want to do something malicious.
Right.
Because of what I was exposed to. And
something that you're exposed to, you and I have been exposed to the same thing, and we've been exposed to the same thing as Little Timmy here. Mm-hmm. You and I aren't going to do anything. Right. Little Timmy's going to go out and shoot a church.
Right, exactly right. And so unless we're going to sanitize the whole world, it's like, well, we can't just ban everything because some person might take it the wrong way.
Right. We have to address what's really the issue and stop trying to scapegoat everything.
Yep.
We need to have these conversations, as a nation.
Yeah.
And we need to have them with our political leaders. And we need to have them with our families. Mm-hmm. And we need to bring back family time and say, hey, this is a game. This isn't real life.
Right.
This isn't how things work. This is not how people behave. And this is the better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you are one of those parents and you're going to let your 8-year-old play Grand Theft Auto, okay, fine. Because I would be one of those parents who would be like, you want to go see this movie? Sure. We'll go see it together.
Sure.
But it's a movie. Mm-hmm. Nothing in this.
There has to be some kind of...
You need to sit down and beforehand.
Yes.
Beforehand, not after he's already played it.
Right.
Or seen it, or heard it, or whatever. You need to sit him down and be like, look, you're going to see some things in this game, movie, in this song, whatever. This isn't how real life should be.
Right.
This isn't how real life is. This isn't how we act towards each other. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we need to step up and start doing that.
No, I agree. I agree. Well, now that we're done with that depressing topic, for those of you that stuck around all the way to the end, and I promise if this is your first episode listening to us, this is not normal kind of topic that we have on the show. We try to keep it pretty light and fun, but this, we're in dark times right now, and
we just need to have the conversation.
Yeah,
sometimes.
no,
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sometimes,
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, we can be fun and play and stuff, but every now and then you got to sit down and look at some hard facts and have some tough conversations. But yeah, no, hopefully, you guys enjoyed that and all that. But that's it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. or on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. RSS feed is in the description. Make sure that you like and subscribe so we know you enjoy what we do here.
And if you got any questions that you want us to answer on the show, any comments, criticisms, you just want to say hi, hey, how's it going? You can always email us, official OGLFG@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Giant Leap, 4 Geeks. We're on Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Instagram. All you have to do is search One Giant Leap for Geeks. Bye.